What's pick number two?
Pick number two, it's a bit of an awkward pick for me, but as a Yankees fan, I think I have to take it because I have no memory of following the season live, but I'm going to go with our other World Series championship, which is the year 2000, the Subway Series versus the Mets.
Mm.
And I feel a little weird doing it too because in terms of win-loss record, it's one of our worst seasons in the past 20 years, regular season performance. The Yankees went 87 and 74 in 2000. But what what I think makes it so great, and it's still a really well-remembered Yankees team, is that it's so hard to repeat as a champion in baseball. And the last team that did it was this 2000 team, and that it was a three-peat. Like they had one of the best teams ever in 98, a classic, solid, you know, start to finish winning team in 99. And in 2000, they struggled. And you could see, okay, I think the Yankees are going to fall off. And they came into a resurgent Mets team that were probably maybe didn't have more talent, but performed better in the regular season. Were coming up. They had been knocking on the door of the Braves in the East and like trying to take that spotlight from the Yankees in New York. And it was just inevitable. Like a 5-game series. And we didn't put them away. It was close wins. And I think in 2000, it was really a testament to just how ingrained winning was into this team, into the organization at the time. Because it just seemed like once you get to the end in 2000, you look back at the 2000 season and you're like, of course the Yankees were going to win it. But if you follow along from that season, there were so many struggles. It proved, I think, Joe Torre's expertise with the team as a manager. It developed Derek Jeter. Not that it developed, but it kind of proved his leadership. Um, and they were just a deep, deep team. The end of that three-peat. That three-peat's really special. That's the last time a team has repeated. And I can't tell you the next time a team's going to three-peat in baseball, especially modern baseball. So I think that's a really special feat for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think one of the players that sticks out to me from the 2000 season, and obviously from the Yankees dynasty period, and he doesn't get enough respect, is number 51, Bernie Williams. That dude was an absolute juggernaut. I mean, he played in obviously the steroid era, and if you compare numbers to some of those big center fielders at the time, like a Ken Griffey Jr., maybe his numbers don't match up, but Bernie was, I'd say, a top five center fielder in baseball at that time, and not enough people put respect on his name back then.
At a 307 average, 391 OBP, 957 OPS. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have David Justice off the bench too, hitting a sneaky 305, 977 OPS, 391 on base percentage. So you had guys firing from different cylinders and a lot of just role players who really knew how to contribute. It's an impressive roster. And there's something very satisfying about looking at Paul O'Neill's 18 homers and 100 RBIs. I don't know why I like that so much, but it's a fun one.
Bernie was dominant, man. He had a 140 OPS plus that
Yeah.
year. Jorge Posada had a 139. And Bernie's name has come up recently in Yankee circles because Bernie apparently was a few inches away from signing with the Red Sox when he had free agency. And that was a classic George Steinbrenner. How much are they giving you? I'll give you a little bit more. Like, do you want to stay? And take him back. But Bernie, I think, is an unfortunate unsung hero of this dominant era of Yankees baseball, just because his timeline was a little bit earlier than, Posada, Jeter, who came up and got to through 2009, and also because he ended at a tough time when the Yankees were struggling. His last season was '06, and the Yankees hadn't won since this 2000 World Series, in which he was by far the best player and one of the best players in baseball, even in the steroid era. But yeah, put some respect on Bernie's name.
Absolutely. This is the weirdest fucking parallel that I just found. I'm going to read off these numbers and tell me who you think of from this current Yankees team when you hear them. 16 homers, 64 rubies, 230 batting average, 299 OBP, 374 slugging, 673 OPS, which was easily like the worst of any starter from like this team.
like Donaldson or Glaber.
Josh Donaldson, guess which player was Scott Brocious, third baseman? They had nearly identical seasons. That's fucking insane.
That's crazy.
That just caught my eye so much.
Chuck
Social
Knobloch.
media, social media makes things so much worse because I guarantee you Scott Brocious wasn't getting it nearly as bad as Josh Donaldson does from us.
Oh, probably didn't call Tim Anderson Jackie too.
Oh, that's true.
Might have something to do with it.
Except the only thing back then is if you just pissed off a journalist or two, that was your entire narrative.
Yeah.
It was like 4 writers in the different papers and stuff. Team of David Justice, Jose Canseco, legend Jose Vizcaíno. A lot of legends in this team. El Duque, David Cohn, Clemens, Doc Gooden.
Soriano made his appearance.
Yep. All right, I think that's good for pick number 2. All of our World Series out the door.